Hello, welcome to Culture Hash, a saucy hub of music reviews, and today we're going to talk about the new album from Stormzy, Heavy is the Head. What can you say about Stormzy at this point? He's the biggest rapper within the UK hip-hop scene. The South London MC made history in 2017 with his debut album, Gang Signs and Prayer, which became the first ever grime album to hit #1 in the UK album chart. Stormzy is at the height of his power. Earlier this summer, he was responsible for an iconic set at Glastonbury. Stormzy performed in a full-on bulletproof vest designed by the artist Banksy. So it was pretty big news at the time. He's had 2 #1 singles this year. Again, unheard of territory for grime MCs. His first #1 came when he was featured on Ed Sheeran's Take Me Back to London, which, you know, Ed Sheeran, he can get pretty much anything to #1 these days. Much more impressive, in my opinion, is getting Vossi Bop to go straight to #1. This is a standard old school grime track, nothing commercial about it. It's got a fun little video, and it just shows the power of Stormzy that he got this track to go straight to #1 and beat the likes of Taylor Swift to achieve this. Vossi Bop came out in April and was the first single released from Heavy is the Head. It appears as the last track on here and serves as a triumphant closer to the project. Heavy is the Head is a great second album and is worthy of the praise that Gang Signs and Prayer received upon its release. It features some of the best bars we've heard from Stormzy so far in his career. Stormzy's refreshing honesty and wit makes this a great project, really enjoyable. It features themes such as overcoming adversity and Stormzy living up to the hype he set himself after the debut project. Like his debut, Heavy is the Head isn't a straight grime project. There's quite a bit of variety on here. He sings some of the tracks. There's strong gospel influence as well. Tracks like Wiley Flow and Vossi Bop are the only real straight hardcore grime tracks. The beats, primarily produced by Fraser T like on Stormzy's debut, they're a bit more like mainstream UK hip-hop beats that you hear in the charts, rather than old school Wiley tunnel vision style beats with like synths and really fast-paced hi-hats. But that's why Stormzy's so successful. It's commercially minded, but it's still hardcore enough for Stormzy's core fan base to appreciate it, while the charts also can get their feel as well. Stormzy's evolution as a lyricist can be most clearly heard on the track Rachel's Little Brother. In the space of like 3 or 4 lines, he references Lion King, Dragon's Den, and Game of Thrones in a really satisfying way. It's full of these really clever bars and little touches that Stormzy put in. The use of that buried vocal sample really brings to mind old school Kanye West beats that he was making back in the early 2000s. Wiley Flow is another standout moment on here. I think Stormzy is one of few people in the UK hip-hop scene who hasn't got beef with Wiley or has had beef with Wiley in the past. Not that Wiley hasn't tried to start beef with Stormzy, but at the moment I think they're on good terms. We'll see how long that lasts because Wiley just seems to rub people up the wrong way. But Wiley Flow really just shows respect to the godfather of the genre. On Wiley Flow, Stormzy's arrogant, talking about his place at the top of the UK hip-hop scene. And he borrows iconic flows from old Wiley tracks like Ban 'Em Up and Night Bus Dubplate. The penultimate track, Lessons, is an emotionally frank track where Stormzy talks about the regrets he has after breaking up with a long-term girlfriend. It's these tracks where Stormzy can talk about his vulnerabilities in a really mature way that has helped him cross over from UK hip-hop star to mainstream icon. In the UK hip-hop scene at the moment, you don't get too many artists like Stormzy that can talk about such frank subjects in such a compelling way. And on this track, he talks about the mistakes he's made and really just mourns the relationship and wishes things could be different. On this album, he doesn't really rely on that tired cliche of degrading women, talking about strip clubs. Stormzy's put together a mature and open project. I like the small touches on here, like how he sampled the Tracy Beaker intro at the end of Superheroes, and also how Rainfall includes an interpolation of Mary Mary's Shackles. I'm a similar age to Stormzy, so I enjoyed his little hat tips to pieces of 2000s nostalgia. Heavy is the Head is a triumphant project from Stormzy. He really has cemented himself as the top UK rapper at the moment. There's a good mix of UK hip-hop, grime and gospel sounds, and it feels like Stormzy's really embraced his place as being not just a top UK rapper, but just a top UK artist as well. So for me, Stormzy, Heavy is the Head is worthy of 8 out of 10.